And here's Desert Dawn on the outside in the blue cap, coming to make it a three-way duel. Homeward Bound and Elm Drive hanging on to it. Adair Manor between them. Desert Dawn on the outside. Three of them come for the wire together in a thriller in the Clement Hirsch. Now Adair Manor gains the ascendancy, and Adair Manor will win. Adair Manor won it. Desert Dawn was second. Elm Drive a valiant third behind.
Can she do it again? That is the question we have for today's Grade 1 Clement Hirsch. Hi, everyone. I'm TV's Mike Joyce, and I'm here at the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club with my good friend, voice of the Kentucky Derby, Preakness, and Breeders' Cup for NBC, but today he just has to sit shotgun to me, Larry Colmus.
Just hanging out at Del Mar, and what a great place to be for the next several hours. Looking forward to some great races and working with you. It's always a challenge. I mean, always fun. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, the sun is out and the shade has been thrown. We've got a great race in the Clement Hirsch. We have Scylla, we have the returning champ, we have an Oaks winner. You name it, we got it in this race. We also have another stakes race in the California Dream, and that'll be our co-feature on today's card. We had a six-figure payout in the Pick Six. The Pick Six pool will probably be bigger. We have seen tons of prices. We have seen just about everything you can imagine here at Del Mar through the first 2.5 weeks.
We sure have. We've seen some great performances among the top jockeys and trainers. We've seen, like you said, a lot of long shots, which has produced some big payouts. I think the Pick 5 average payout still in the 5-digit area. It's way up there. So lots to look forward to, and today's going to be a blast.
Let's get to the stakes race, though.
Okay.
We're going to start with the California Dream, and the particulars of this one: 1 mile and a 16th in distance on the turf course, $150,000, and it's a Calbred race. And there's some good Calbreds in here. There's a lot of real good ones. Catalina Eddie's going to be a contender for Craig Lewis. Coalinga Road at 10-1 for Carla Gaines. None Above the Law is at 15-1, but he's coming off a win in the Bertrando last time out. Old Pal probably goes favored in here for Mark Ladd. This is a good bunch.
Yeah, you've got last year's winner in here, and Carmelita's Man, who's going to try to make it 2 years in a row. On the far outside, Barely Functional, who's in excellent form right now. I think it is a wide open cast, a great betting race, and I'm looking forward to that. I am leaning toward Coalinga Road, and one of the main reasons he hasn't had a chance to be here at Del Mar in a while, he likes Del Mar quite a bit. He's run here on 4 occasions on the turf, 2 wins and a second. He's in decent form right now, and hopefully he can get it done.
And I think it's more than just the makeup of the surface when people say horse for course. It is the environment. I mean, we're 4 ecosystems away from Santa Anita.
Right.
That is mountainous, it is hot, it is dry. This is the cool coastal, and there's just horses that thrive down here, regardless of what's underneath their feet.
People too.
Yeah.
I like it a whole lot here at Del Mar, and I think a lot of the horses do too. It's just that, I mean, when it's 95 at Santa Anita, it's 75.
Right. No, you've adjusted nicely. The acclamation has been quite obvious. We do have a backtrack of one of the contenders there, Proof He Rides. And you talk about a now horse and a horse who is in good form. Yes, a lot of questions here. Will this colt this Geldon get the distance? I mean, he's 6 years old, and I can't see that he's ever stretched out to this far on the turf. But he's another one that has run well here at Del Mar in the past, and he's going to be on the lead. He's very fast when you look at what he has to beat to the front end on this field. He should be the one that gets down the front end.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the speed of the race in here, stretching out for Sean McCarthy. The only time the horse has ever been around 2 turns was at Golden Gate on that synthetic track there, and he kind of got tired through the stretch in that race. So we'll see if he can handle this 2-turn distance.
I looked off camera because I know we're more than 2 hours to first post, but the beautiful people have started to arrive.
It's amazing how early they get here and how late they stay. It's not like a Dodgers game.
No, it's not. To be fair, though, have you ever tried driving in and out of Chavez Ravine?
I have. It's not good.
Clement Hirsch is our Grade 1 affair of the day. It's part of the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series. The winner punches a ticket to the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Adair Manor. She is 9 for 17 in her career. Recently, though, she has only lost twice. One of those was a runner-up to Sweet Azteca in the Beholder Mile, and then as a almost 5-1 shot, she was 7th in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. But she punched her ticket last year by winning this race. I will say this about the Clement Hirsch this year. She didn't scare anyone away. Pretty Mischievous comes into town, the Kentucky Oaks winner. You have Scylla for Bill Mott making the trip out here. And as much as I'm provincial and I want our California horses to win, if some of these other horses ship in and win here, I think that could be a good thing for Del Mar moving forward, especially with back-to-back Breeders' Cups coming in. It's hard to win in California. It's a really hard place to come in, especially when you're running against the likes of Baffert and a beast from his barn like Adair Manor. But if one of these other horses can win, I think that might signal to the rest of the country, you know what, you can give it a shot.
And if you look at last year's race, which we just did a little bit ago, those were all California horses in there. And the two words you just mentioned, Breeders and Cup, are the reason I think we're seeing horses Pretty Mischievous. I think Brendan Walsh was quoted as saying he is coming here as a test to see how she runs at Del Mar with Pretty Mischievous. And probably the same can be said for Scylla, for Bill Mott. You know, here are two very talented horses coming in and taking on Adair Manor, who figures to be a heavy favorite in this race. Here is Scylla. She has just done nothing wrong. She's won 3 in a row, all at Churchill Downs. And her victory in the Fleur-de-Lis is what we're looking at here, when she won by a neck as the 9-10 favorite in that race. I think that because the Breeders' Cup is at Del Mar this year and next year, it's going to help the rest of the Del Mar season, because you will get horses come in here to see how they like the track.
So she beat Shotgun Hottie and Taxton there. Prior to that in the Shawnee, she was favored. She beat Chigara and Wet Paint. Those are two absolute beasts. Her last loss came in the Double Dog Dare to Raging Sea. She is a supremely talented runner, Scylla. So we're going to take another look at one of the contenders here. Adair Manor, obviously we saw her Clement Hirsch from a year ago. She's very fast. She didn't need the lead when winning the Clement Hirsch a year ago, but she did get to sit outside the other speed, just kind of tracking there. She's going to be forwardly placed, and she's going to have to be forwardly placed as we take a look at her Santa Margarita. Question is, can her front-running style be undone by anyone in here?
Well, I mean, that is a good question. Flying Connection to her inside is coming out of some sprints, but I don't necessarily think she's got Adair Manor speed in here. I think Adair Manor is going to find herself in front and in the clear on the lead here and play Catch Me If You Can. And, of course, Juan Hernandez, very good on the lead. So she's got the home field advantage in here. But, I mean, if you look at who she beats the same ones all the time. And when we had the Santa Anita Breeders' Cup Distaff, the horses came in from around the country, she didn't run all that well.
Right.
She was 7th that day. So is she just beating up on California horses, or did she just not run well in the Breeders' Cup Distaff? She did run a slower number than she's run in the past.
So now here's Pretty Mischievous in the Cotillion. She lost this day. It was her first loss in 4 starts. She's actually on a 3-race losing streak. It was something she never had to deal with in her career prior to this. But she lost to Ceiling Crusher this day. And Ceiling Crusher was just brilliant. And I think the slop helped Ceiling Crusher, or it may have hurt Pretty Mischievous just a touch. But there's no shame in that. I think Ceiling Crusher is an excellent runner based here in California. And she took her track with her to Parks that day. Pretty Mischievous is very good. It's her 3rd start of the year. She lost the La Troyenne. She lost in the Ogden Phipps. Those are back-to-back grade 1s. She has run in nothing but grade 1 races since winning the Kentucky Oaks.
Yeah, she has been facing the best of the best for sure, and holds her own pretty much every time. But if you're a fan of the speed figures, the buyer numbers, she and Scylla are not in the same league as Adair Manor. So it's a matter of whether Adair Manor is going to be able to get loose on the lead. And I think, having watched the races here at Del Mar in the last week or so, that speed is really good on the main track. So despite the fact that Adair Manor is going to have to face tougher company than she did last year, I think she can do it again.
Yeah, you don't want to have too much to do on this racetrack, because if you're near the front, you're in a great position.
This is not Churchill, where you see the moves that we saw Scylla make.
Yeah.
Harder to do that here.
Give me your top selection in the Clement Hirsch.
I will go for Adair Manor as the top pick for Baffert and Hernandez. I think it's going to be a tougher test for her than it was last year, but I think she's up to it, especially the way the track's been playing.
I think Pretty Mischievous has a gear to be close enough for that kick to work. We'll see how the pace. If Adair Manor asserts herself on the lead by herself, yeah, they could all be running for second. But at the price I'm going to get for Pretty Mischievous, I think she's very talented. She's accomplished. And Brendan Walsh, I've seen enough from him over the last 10 years to know that he doesn't just fly horses around for nothing. He comes to win. At any rate, we have less than 2 hours to first post here at the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club. We hope you'll join us on FanDuel TV. We're also going to be bringing you coverage live on site. Dave Weaver at the Meadowlands for the Hambletonian. We do have Caton Bradar and Andy Biancone at Ellis Park. It'll be a fabulous day of racing on FanDuel TV, despite the fact that Larry